I am so excited to dive in on this topic with you. First of all, let's just say some things directly to you. You are fabulous. You are so wonderful. Do not let anyone ever tell you otherwise. You need to speak your good work, do your good work, come to the table so lit up, so fired up that people just want to warm their hands next to your fire. This world, this time, this lifetime, you're not meant to play small. You're not meant to do only small things. You're meant to do very, very big things. And I just want to encourage you and invite you to not forget that. You're meant to make money. You're meant to make impact. You're meant to have purpose. You're meant to profit from purpose, not just show up and meet financial goals. That's not what we're here for. That's not the era we're in. That is the old patriarchy, that is old capitalism. It is now time to rise up in a different place, in a different energy, and speak your truth and show up as who you are and do the dang thing, as I always say. And to be a leader, to lead, to share of your knowledge, to share of what's on your heart and in your mind and radiating from your soul, we cannot do it alone. 7 billion, 7.5 billion people on the planet is proof enough to share and show that we do this together, that we do this energetically together, volitionally together, with integrity and so much fun and so much joy. I have a new rule in my life. If it's not fun, I ain't gonna do it. But that doesn't mean that I don't do hard things. Things can be hard, but I will climb for the vista. The fun is getting to the next peak. The fun is getting to the next level. The fun, even when it's hard, even when you're climbing and your quads hurt and your calves hurt and your ankles hurt and you're breathing hard, that vista, that's the fun part. So we get to have fun and we get to do hard things and we get to do it together. So, all that to be saying that, alone you'll go far, together you'll go fast, and together we'll go far. I knew I was going to mess that up. See, you don't have to be perfect. You can just reset, redo it again. Hello. So, I want you to feel confident and comfortable hiring your first VA. And that's why I'm going over this today, because when I have such an amazing team. Can I just tell you, they were like pulling out the best work for me this morning, and I am just so floored and so excited and so happy, which makes my clients really happy as well. And I want the same for you, because I don't want you to be burning the midnight oil, to burnout, to adrenal fatigue. To build a great business requires a team. It requires you to step more into leadership, ownership, CEO vibes, and allowing people who are over the moon excited to serve and help you in the ways that are their zone of genius. Okay? So we're not meant to do this alone. We're not meant to just grind and hustle. That is not the energy I want you to be building your business from. Because when you're in grind, hustle, anxiety, fear, worry, etc., guess who can feel that? Literally everyone. And that doesn't help you generate sales. It doesn't help you make a greater impact, and none of that. So it might feel scary to hire your first team member. I get it. I've been there. It's not, I wouldn't say scared for like the second, third, fourth, fifth, but more like, okay, what's the ROI going to be on this? And you just start looking at things a little bit more strategically, and how you're going to get a return on an investment. And it is an investment. You are investing in a person, which means you're investing in more energy coming into your stratosphere, into your CEO-dom, and allowing someone to help and serve you. So many things are going on. You're going to have to let go of a little bit of control. You're going to have to really look at your process and how you do things so that you can communicate it to somebody else, which is a whole new ball of wax. And then you are allowing someone else to showcase and shine their brightness so that you can quantum leap together. Okay, and this is such a great thing. Such a great thing. We have like, I believe, 6 people on our team now. So much fun. I mean, I'm not a huge business as far as like team members are concerned, but you can do so much with even just one VA. So if you're like setting up your web pages or setting up your email campaigns or scheduling out your social, these are all things somebody else should be doing for you so that you move into creator, content, and leader, okay, and visionary. And you want this person on your team to really help you with those like nitty gritty things. So first step is it's strengthening a muscle. Delegation is strengthening a muscle. So the very first thing I want you to do, I want you to have a notepad next to you. Or if you're like super techie and you love that, do that. But we'll just use the notepad as the example, the old school example before all the apps and things, okay? And I want you to write a fictitious name at the top of your future virtual assistant. And I want you to be moving through your day and thinking, let me just make a Jane Doe could do that. I'm going to write that down. Even if you end up doing it, you're strengthening, you will start to see the amount of tasks that could easily be delegated to somebody. Okay, so that is the first step. Just like realize that there's plenty of work to do. Because I hear mixed bag. I feel like, well, what would I give them anyways? Because you're so used to doing everything yourself. You'll start to see all the things that you could start offloading onto somebody else, okay? That is just such a good muscle to strengthen. And then it'll also show you what tasks and programs and processes that you are going to need to write a description for in order to communicate what that person will need to do. Okay, so that's your step number 2 is write down the description of what this person would be doing on a weekly or daily or monthly basis. All the things you'd love for them to take off your plate, and as well as the programs and systems that they would already need to know in order to make that happen. Let me give you an example. So say you're hiring a tech VA. They need to know your website platform. They need to know your email marketing platform. They need to know how to like work and run later or Planoly or whatever you're scheduling your social media on. And then you could say on a daily basis, this would be happening. On a weekly basis, this would be happening. And on a monthly basis, this would be happening. Maybe you don't feel like you have like that large of an amount of tasks to delegate right now. Just start where you are. Start where you are. So first you need to know and then I also want you just to like take a moment, close your eyes, maybe right after this live, and really think about the energy of this person. Envision them in your mind's eye. If you're good at visualizing, please, please, please do this and see like, okay, she or he or they or them or however the person identifies is like, this person is full of life and full of energy and full of positivity. This person is a go-getter, super organized. Their friends, if they were to describe this person, their friends would say, oh, if I ever need to put something together and have a plan, like I always talk to Jane Doe first. She always knows how to organize 100 thoughts into a systemized way. Like really get to know just like getting to know your ideal client, get to know your non-negotiables and your ideal A player team members. Okay. And then you're going to put this in the description because this will help someone to identify that, yes, that's me. I would love to do something like that. And you don't have to overcomplicate this. This doesn't have to be super duper hard. Just literally write down from your heart what you are looking for. And since this may be your first, second hire, maybe you've had a bad experience in the past, something of that nature, don't worry. This muscle, again, will continue to evolve, strengthen, grow. You're going to get more and more clear as your business grows about exactly what you need. So you're not doing it wrong. just try and follow these steps as closely as possible. And I promise you, it'll save you a lot of headache, heartache, money, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So now that you know what you would delegate to them, now that you've written your job description, next is to go find some people. So I recommend doing a couple different things. One, if you do have an email list, send to your email list. Say, we're hiring, we're looking for a tech VA. I'm just using that because I honestly think that is one of the first things you should integrate into your business, because I don't know about you, I love being creative. I love creating content. I love branding. I love messaging. But the nitty gritty tech stuff, I can do it, but I don't want to do it. So, and it's definitely not my zone of genius. So I always think that's a really good first place to start, someone that can take that over for you. Okay, so you're going to email your list if you have one. Email friends and family too. Say, this is what I'm looking for. Do you know of anybody? And here's the next step for them to take, which I'll explain in a second. You can post to your social media accounts. There are a ton of Facebook groups. Like I think it's Women's Entrepreneur Network is one. You can just post to social, find some Facebook groups that have VAs inside of them and say you're hiring and you're looking for somebody. Okay. You will get a ton of applications. Okay. The application process. I highly recommend just putting together a Google form with a series of questions. Let me even pull up one that we did recently, and I can give you exact examples of questions you could be asking. How helpful is that? Thank you very much. Give me one sec. Okay. Some questions you could ask. You want their email, their name. I would highly recommend asking what country and time zone they are in. There's lots of options. I know you can hire overseas. I prefer people in the United States. I just find that the time difference and the communication is much easier to manage and deal with. But hey, to each their own, whatever works for you. I ask for Instagram handle. I ask for their currently hourly rate and packages. That way you know up front what kind of rates they're expecting, and you can like immediately know if it's falling into your budget or not. Available start date, experience working on a virtual team, why they're interested in the position, why they think they're a great candidate for this position, and to list the apps and programs that they feel they are at advanced level at. And then I also ask what their personal core values are to see if they align with the core values of our company. So that's really important to me. And then I ask them to submit a 2 to 5 minute video. That way I can get to know them, and they're basically saying what's in the application on a video, and I'm feeling out their energy as well. And then I ask if there's anything else that they could share with me that would be helpful. So that's the whole of the application process. And then, hold on one second. And then I move into, and then people will submit. And then it's that simple. This is really good stuff. Good. I'm glad you're liking it, Mary Jane. And then you'll get responses. You'll get people who, you just read through and you start to see, and then you can set up some interviews. I wouldn't take more than 30 minutes for an interview. There's a couple different ways you can do this as well. If you already have people on your team that could interview them for a first round, and then, they pick their first, their top 3 to 5, you could do that. If it's all you, especially since I titled this your first VA, there's probably no one else on your team. So set your interviews for about 30 minutes. With your, like, the top 3 to 5 people. Now, rates. This is the big one. The range of rates for VAs varies like dramatically, especially depending on their experience. You have to know what budget you're comfortable with. I would think of this on a monthly budget. I would never hire someone just like, oh, charge me hourly and just let me know where you're at the end of the month, because you could end up with a huge bill that you weren't expecting. What I would to protect yourself and your spend, I would say like hire on a VA for 5 hours a month, 10 hours a month. If you really have a lot of work and you've got the budget, 20 hours a month. Okay. This is where you're going to want to start, and you'll get done as much as you can get done in that amount of time. And typically these, like a tech VA, should be very fast at many, many things, but also thorough. So many things to tell you. So that's my talk on rates. I mean, it can range anywhere. I mean, if you're hiring overseas, obviously it's going to be less. It could be anywhere from like $8 an hour to here in the US, $40 to $50 an hour. Like the range is huge. I think for a skilled tech VA, in my experience, you're going to be looking at anywhere between $25 and $35 an hour for a rate. And then they might like do economy of scale. So if you have like a 10-hour package, that rate might go down a little bit. That's just, don't quote me on any of this, but that's like a general good overview of to kind of know what you're dealing with. Now, you might be saying, Jessica, I should just do the work. I can't really afford to like let go of $500 a month or $200 a month or whatever the case may be. I am telling you, you can find the money. Number one, don't make that the issue. You will leapfrog yourself when you are not doing tasks that are going to take you hours and hours and hours to figure out. You hear me? Like I'm planting that real hard right now. Okay. So what else do I want to say about this? Because there's so much. You really have to start looking at your time and your energy, time and attention and energy as very, very precious. And if you are looking to get to 6 figures in 1 year and you only want to work, 40 hours a week, reverse engineer that. What is your hourly rate? Maybe you only want to work 30 hours a week. What's your hourly rate? If you are doing tasks that so if your hourly rate ends up being $150 an hour or $100 an hour, let's just make it simple math because I am not good at math. If your hourly rate then becomes $100 an hour, you should not be doing $25, $35 an hour tasks. You are throwing money away. Do you see what I'm saying? Where you could be acquiring clients, creating content, developing the brand, which will ultimately pay you that $100 an hour rate, not doing the things that cost $25 an hour. Does this make sense? It's the best way I can explain it. So this is why it's so important to start to developing team, because you can go so much further, so much faster. And I'm not, it's not a race. I'm not saying it from that perspective, but the amount of productivity is not the right word. Productivity is part of it, but just the amount of impact, the amount of reach, the amount of magic really that you can make happen by doing this is essential to the growth and sustainability of your business. Because if you burn out, sister, and it's only you, there goes the business. And we don't want that. You started this business in the first place for more freedom, more time, more lifestyle, ingenuity and freedom. So you sitting at your computer at 2 a.m. trying to figure out how to tag an email sequence is just ridiculous. Absolutely freaking ridiculous. So take the leap, trust yourself, trust your intuition when talking to these qualified, amazing people who are ready, able, willing, wanting to work with you. And let's make magic happen. Yes, Marie, love it. Love that you're loving this. Okay. So we talked about what you would delegate. We talked about the job description. We talked about the application process. We talked about the interview process. I would allow the interview process to be super organic, and ask them the questions that are most meaningful for you. Make sure they know what they need to know in order for you to move the business forward. Make sure they're autonomous. Make sure they're self-starters. They're not going to be sitting idly by, waiting on you, but they know that once they've been delegated those tasks that they're just going to like hit the ground running. Okay. I would also ask, once you onboard someone, okay, let me back up one sec. You can also have them do a test project. You can pay them whatever amount of money, an hour of their time, and have them do a test project and see how it goes. Do you guys communicate well together? Do they meet deadlines? Do they deliver what was promised, et cetera, et cetera? So you can do a little baby test project first as well before you onboard them like on a retainer, a monthly retainer. There will be contracts involved, money involved. Most people expect payment up front for the month ahead, which is totally normal. So don't be freaked out by that. If you don't do that in your own business, I would recommend you start. So, and then, then you get to the hiring process, the onboarding process. So I know it might feel like you need to hire an assistant to hire an assistant. I have been there and I feel that way. I've felt that way in the past as well. You owe it to yourself to like take that first day of having that team member on board and just like dedicating your energy and your time to this person and like saying, hey, this might be a little messy. And hopefully you're going to help me streamline this process as well. Here are our clients. Here's how I operate the business. Always open to ideas and suggestions. Okay. Side note, let me just interject this here. Do not need to be the smartest person in the room. Be the person that's surrounded by the smartest people in the room. Drop your ego. You do not need to know everything. If you knew everything, number one, you wouldn't listen to Facebook Lives like this. You wouldn't have courses that you take, and you wouldn't, you'd probably be an oracle sitting on a mountaintop somewhere. Like, the point is not to know everything. The point is to be surrounded by people who know everything and not need to be right, and allow people to help you and allow people to come to the table with great suggestions based off of their own personal experience. Let that happen for you. So you can say, look, I don't know. Here's how I've been doing it. If you've ever done it a different way with other clients that you think would be more efficient, please bring it to my attention. And let's review that together. And if I feel like it's a good move, then we'll move forward in that direction. Like, just always be open. Let your team you have to let go of control. I know it's not easy, but let your team be there for you. And then really be very, communication is key. This should be like a part 2. I'm going to probably have to do a part 2 of what to do once you onboard someone. But this is the best steps to take in order to hiring a VA. We'll do a part 2 with what to do once you onboard somebody. Amazing. You guys are amazing. Hopefully this was helpful. Please leave in the comments below. If you have any questions, please ask them. I'm happy to answer. I'm here for you. Take advantage. I charge lots of money for people to coach and consult with me. And here, these are free. And I just want you to know you are loved. You are beautiful. You can do it. Bite the bullet. Hire your first VA. You will not be sorry. I promise. Okay. Sending you lots of love. Bye-bye. Ta-ta for now, as Tigger says. Okay. Lots of love. Bye.